doesn't mean God is made of energy.
Energy is the underlying substance.
How do you know that? Who told you? God is made of
Well,
energy.
we have never found anything else other than energy.
Have you actually explored the entire universe? Just because, look,
I think
absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
I agree.
Good. So you cannot say that is all we observed.
Well,
And the reason you observe that is because you're inside the system.
when has anyone ever observed anything else?
No, but what you're doing is you're inside the system and you're looking at the system. You're looking at this closed system, the universe. And then you're saying that's all that exists. It's basically like being in a well, yes? And you're saying the well is my world.
I'm not
Nothing
saying-
else
I'm not-
outside the well exists. Well,
No, but I'm
W-E-L-L.
talking about
Yeah.
the underlying substance of energy.
But,
That,
I mean,
that is
if you're going to
completely
say
different
God,
from
if you're
being.
going to say God is energy, then you will have to somehow agree that energy is eternal in a way, which
neither,
no
cre-
scientist.
neither created nor destroyed.
No, but in a closed system.
Yeah.
I don't think any
And God is
any
the
scientist
closest.
out there will.
We're in it.
What do you mean we're in it? In what? Are you saying God is the universe?
I'm saying that there is nothing but God.
And is energy God?
There is a single object made of energy that is omnipresent, omnipotent.
You're made
and
of
omniscient.
energy. God is made of energy. What's the difference between the two?
I'm a heck of a lot less.
Maybe to a lesser degree. You're maybe a lesser God.
I'm not a God.
I'm saying people might speculate that, because if you're going to make God energy, then why are you excluded from being energy like God?
What I view that as is I am an extension of that energy. Not a part, but an extension of it, because there is only one that is inseparable. Therefore,
Do you think the level of energy is fixed in the universe?
yes.
Does it have to be fixed by necessity?
That is a question for one who transcends.
I mean, it doesn't matter even if you say a
And,
thousand
and, you're
or a
ask, and,
trillion
you're ask, and you're
kilojoules.
asking me to speculate about something that actually, by your own definition, might be blasphemous.
No, I'm not talking about God. Sorry, I'm talking about the universe. You can't talk about the universe in terms of X number of energy.
To me, the universe
X amount of energy.
by its creation is an extension of God. It's God's playground where he can
When you
do
say extension of God, you're trying to somehow say that it's basically a part of God?
no, not a
No?
part,
Okay,
an
fine.
extension. That's why I say it's inseparable.
It's a creation of God.
It's inseparable.
Let's call it a creation of God. That's much easier to fathom and understand. So
It
basically,
might
there
be
was no
easier-
universe
it might be
before.
Easier, it might be easier for you, but the concept of the difference between being a part, which can be separated from, and being an extension, which cannot
It
be
is,
separated.
because at one point there was only God. There was nothing else other than God.
And God then extended himself.
No, God created. He didn't extend himself. He says kun fayakun, be and it is. All he has to do is give a command and it happens. He doesn't need to extend himself and do X, Y, and Z.
Well, you say that, but how do you think he did it?
I told you, by his command. The Quran says if he wants something to happen, he merely wills it by his command. The command is kun
that doesn't-
fayakun, be and it is.
Yeah, and don't you think that's even slightly allegorical, simplifying things, without giving an actual method?
Does God need a method?
Yeah.
Why? Why
How
does
do you
God need
do
a
anything?
method?
How do you
I
do?
told
How
you.
does God do
Look,
anything?
if you are powerful enough,
If B,
create something.
if B is the method, then
No, B is a
then
command.
that's-
it's not a method, it's a command. So the command is basically
it's
part
a
of
verb.
No, it's a command of God. So if I say, let there be light, yes, I say, and I switch on the light. Okay, I had to do something in order for light to be switched on. I needed electricity in the house, I needed a switch. So these things for me are necessary. But do you think God needs all that? God just wills it. It happens if he wants to. He's capable and he's basically sovereign and almighty.
Without any method.
He doesn't need a method.
Why?
In fact, he doesn't need any creation. For example, because
He
at one,
doesn't need to
he
create.
doesn't need any creation for him.
So why did he do it?
No, I'm saying he doesn't need a creation for him to will something to happen. For example, at one
Well-
point there was no creation. He was the creator, the only being or the only entity who existed. And
what
God
hap-
created
what-
everything.
And what happened when, at that time when God was
God will.
alone?
Yeah, God will. I mean, look, I cannot speculate what God was doing at that time. All I know is that God
Why not?
created everything and anything that you hear, imagine, say all these things. God is the one who created all of the creation.
Exists all in the mind of God. And where does that mind of God exist?
Where does it exist? With
Where?
God. With God.
Where is that?
What do you mean, where is that?
Where is that?
Are you saying where is God?
Yeah.
God can be anywhere, right?
God would, by definition, would be omnipresent.
Yes.
Yeah. Both transcendentally and immanently.
Well, you know, God is where God was before any creation happened.
And what about after?
After the same place. Because, like I
so
said,
in other
God
words,
is not subject to time and space.
But you agree that God's omnipresence is both transcendental and immanent.
No, God is not subject to time and space. So, for example, for God to
You
exist,
didn't answer the question.
which is what?
Do you believe that God is omnipresent, both transcendentally and immanently?
I think He basically exists outside the creation. If that
Purely
makes sense.
transcendentally.
He exists.
Purely transcendental,
He exists
not
outside.
throughout.
He's not part of. He's not
Right.
inside the creation. He's outside the creation.
Or he didn't.
That doesn't mean He's not aware of the creation, because there's an ayah in the Quran where it says He's closer to you than your jugular vein.
Yeah,
Yes?
which points to immanence.
No, which points to the fact that by His knowledge, He's closer to you than you can imagine.
But but
Yes,
If
it's
it's-
about the earth and about His throne. Yes.
and they exist.
And like I said, look, these are realms. For example, the throne of Allah again is a realm, is a spiritual realm which we don't know about much, other than what Allah
It
has
could
already told
exist
us.
in those other spatial dimensions that string theory gives. That
It doesn't matter what dimension you bring in, He's separate from the creation. That's the important point we need to realize.
But do we know absolutely that it is completely and utterly separate?
Well, Allah says He's unlike anything.
And that
Laysa kamithlihi shay'un.
that energy
Everything.
couldn't.
And
it
to
just
me,
couldn't. God
me-
couldn't have.
look, to me,
extended
energy is a
himself.
thing.
Yeah?
Okay,
And
and
God couldn't have extended himself.
God creates. I told you already. Maybe you like the word extension. I don't really fathom what you actually trying to imply. At the end of
Well,
the day,
like if I want to extend part of my, I've got an arm that's an extension, a hand, and fingers. They're all extensions of
oh,
myself.
that's a part of you. That
But they are
hand,
inseparable.
the finger,
You
even
can't
if it's
take it
separated,
off.
look, you can take it off, but right now they're a part of you. If you want, you can separate it from your body, and maybe that is no more a part of you. But God, like I said, is not part of the creation. He is a creator
So you
who transcends the creation.
So you don't believe in omnipresence imminently.
Well, I believe in God being outside the creation.
Right. So it's
I would like
purely
to be more
transcendental.
specific
So it's purely
about my
transcendental. In which case, a God, to me, a God that is both transcendental and immanent is greater than a God that is just transcendental.
You can't measure God, can you? Like I said, God is
Well,
closer
if-
to
if-
you
if-
than your jugular vein
If God
by His
is
knowledge.
if God is great, then God has to be both.
No, you're not going to make rules for what God should do and shouldn't do in
logic.
order for Him to be great.
It's logic. Yeah.
But
No,
your
it's not
logic
logic.
cannot comprehend God. Your logic, because our minds,
My logic isn't mine.
my friend, our
Logic
logic
is logic.
and our minds are so limited to the unlimited being. So our limited,
Unlimited?
yes, He's unlimited.
Give me an 11-sided triangle.
Sorry? Oh, you don't know the definition of triangle then?
You're saying
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
God
Why
doesn't know
why did you
God
call that
doesn't-
a triangle then?
That's what I'm saying. You
No,
can't-
wait.
you can't
You're,
do the- you can't
you're,
do the
you're basically
impossible.
trying to say a married bachelor.
sorry.
Yes.
Because
an
you're
oxymoron.
using, look, that's a
It's an oxymoron.
that's a non-word, I would say. When you're trying to use common sense, common definitions, and then try to manifest those definitions into something else, and which
So you're saying
completely
God is
alters its meaning.
unlimited.
God is
Meaning-
unlimited. Don't you believe that?
meaning he-
Sorry,
meaning
God
he can
got
do
tied
everything.
in the Bible.
No, he's not a Christian. He's a Muslim. Sorry, I think he's probably learning still. You're Muslim, by the way. You're a Muslim.
In the Bible,
And he has questions. That's fair enough. You know, it's like people do ask questions, but at the end of the day, when you look, the problem arises when you try to mix the creator with the creation. And I've noticed this every time. Every time people try to somehow relate the creator with the creation, that's when things go wrong. If you try to understand, look, if you try to understand God using our limited mind fully, you will never understand God. So base God by what He has defined Himself as. For example, if God says He's immortal and He's all-knowing, take all-knowing for example. Can you and I fathom what all-knowing is?
Can we know everything?
No, can you fathom it? There's no point you'll know everything. Neither will I. But can you even fathom it? Can you even understand what it means
Yeah,
to
I
know
believe I
everything?
can.
So if you have not seen everything, how will you understand?
I understand
The
the
knowledge of
concept
everything.
of, just as you use the term.
No, I'm using the term based on what God told us, that He is the one who is all knowledgeable. Yes, when He says Alimun Khabir, yes,
But by definition, God would be all-knowing.
yes, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm trying to tell you, that there are certain things, certain attributes of God. In fact, all the attributes of God, they are in the superlative, and we cannot fathom
They're
them.
most.
This is
Yes.
for you.
Thank you very
We
much.
cannot fathom them.